Hi everyone, welcome to Drawing Hub. This is Sanjana, and in this video, we'll be discussing about free trade of industrial economics and foreign trade. So, before free trade, we should know what trade policy is. Trade policy can be defined as goals, rules, or standards and regulations that are involved that are involved in the trade between countries. So, and there are two major policies that the countries follow with respect to international trade. One of them is free trade, and the other one is protectionism. Protectionism we have already discussed in the previous video, and in this video we'll be discussing about free trade. So, what is free trade? Okay, free trade. From the word itself, we can understand it is something that is made between two countries. There are no hindrances like cheap tariffs or unfettered. It can be also called as unfettered trade. Here, goods can be passed over the borders without being molested by any restrictions. No restriction is keeping them back. So, free trade agreements are contracts between countries to allow access to their markets freely. So, now what are the advantages of free trade? There are so many advantages like increased economic growth. Increased economic growth means free trade will increase the production scale and division of labor, which leads to economic growth. In free trade, the economic growth will be increased because the production scale will increase rapidly. Why? Because there are no barriers, right? Then more dynamic. Okay, that is the first advantage. Now, what is the second advantage? More dynamic business climate will be there. So, without the free trade agreements, countries will be protecting their domestic industries and businesses and all. So, this protection will make them stagnant. They will not be competitive. Just as I've explained in protectionism, the same things apply here. So here also though there will be no competition between the people, between the industries, because they will be stagnant. They'll stick on to whatever they are, whatever position they are right now in, and they will not be in competition with the global market. They are confined to their domestic industries. So this protection often made them stagnate and non-competitive on the global market. And with the protection removed, they become motivated to become the global competition. So when this protection is removed, they can be motivated, and they'll be more they'll be facing the global competitors and more. This is somewhat opposite to protectionism. Okay, so that is more dynamic business climate. Then foreign direct investment. Investors will flock to the country because they know there are no, it is not there is no tariff, but cheap tariffs will not be there. That's what it says. So this adds capital to expand. So this adds capital to expand local industries and boost domestic businesses. So domestic businesses and the local industries will get helping hand from this foreign direct. The foreigners will directly invest on the industries. Next one is technology transfer. If we do not have any competition, we'll be just like that, and our technology will not be expanded because we are in the safe zone. Right. So in that situation, there will be no technology transfer. But when these barriers are not there, local companies will receive access to the latest technology from their multinational partners because they have multinational partners right now. That is technology transfer. Then what is expertise? Expertise means global companies have more expertise than domestic companies to develop local resources. So the resources are in the local level. It is more available for the domestic industries. But as far as the expertising thing, global companies have more expertise, let it be in the technological aspect or any other thing. So at that time, when these two people, that is from the global level and from the local or the domestic level, when they come together, it will bring a lot of change. So expertise is important when global market is easily accessible. Then more choice of goods. See, in protectionism, as I've told, in protectionism, what happens? The only the domestic things will be available, and there will not be much choices. The choices will be limited. But when it goes to a global level, more choices of goods will be there, and free trade is good for consumers. It will reduce the prices because the competition is high. So people cannot vary the prices a lot. So it will be the products will be available at the lowest of prices, and tariffs will not be there. Also, the competition will, all this is happening because there is more competition, so more choice of food. Then the quality. So because of this competition, if the people wants to stand in the market, they have to improve their quality because people prefer the one with more quality, right? So the quality and choice increases. So that is the advantages of free trade. Just like that, we also have disadvantages of free trade. That is, it is threat to the domestic industries. Since there will be so many emerging markets, like the traditional economies, and there are so many things like this. So they all rely on farming and such domestic ways for most employment. So these small family farms, they can't, compete with the subsidized agribusiness in developed countries. So as a result, they will lose their farms and must look for work in the cities. So that is, as domestic industries, it is a threat for them. So this can aggravate unemployment, crime, poverty, and so many other things. So that is one thing. Is there one disadvantage of the free trade is threat to domestic industry. Then poor working condition. The multinational companies may outsource the jobs to emerging market without adequate labor protections. The multinational, we cannot expect them to protect, about the job security. So there are poor working conditions. People will have to work hard, unlike how they used to do in the domestic industry. So that is poor working conditions and degradation of natural resources. See, emerging market countries, they do not have any environmental protection. They're not concerned about the environment, so that can lead to degradation of natural resources because they are getting profit from that. Okay, we will keep on doing the same thing. That is degradation of natural resources and destruction of native cultures. See, as the development moves into isolated areas, these indigenous cultures, it can affect them. These indigenous cultures can be destroyed. So that is destruction of native cultures. That's it about free trade. Thank you.